we are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Y'all got Kool-Aid hot.
Fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener! Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
We here.
Welcome to Wake Up Woodward Live on the Woodward Sports Network. I am Flannel Sam. The man to my left is KG.
Yes, sir.
Kool-Aid is still out in San Francisco because, of course, he was rubbing elbows with the big wigs of the NBA. I'm sure he's going to tell us his stories about how he met LeBron and Steph and Ant Edwards, etc., etc., etc.
Kool-Aid not coming back, y'all.
But pretty soon he'll have to deal with us little folks again. All joking aside, he will be back tomorrow, and he's actually going to join the show today to discuss his experiences. We're going to get to ask him a lot of questions. We got William Baker in the house. We got Chase. We've got JB Smooth in the TD booth, as always. But I think we have to start off the show with probably the most important sports news of the weekend, even more than Cade in the All-Star game. And that, of course, is that Four Nations victory by USA.
Yes, sir.
USA. Absolutely phenomenal. A 3-1 victory over Canada. And I think the best part of it is that USA, they dominated. Well, I wouldn't say they dominated, but they won the physical play on the ice. They won the fight, and they won on the ice. And I think that was the most important, I mean, not the most important thing, but very symbolic, because did you see what the Kachuk brothers were getting into about a second into the game? That was that was really cool. And the Kachuk brothers against Finland, they can give you 2 goals apiece, and against Canada, they can whoop some Canadian ass. So you love to see it. Absolutely phenomenal. You love to see also that physical play. I believe it was Charlie McAvoy. He sent Connor McDavid into another dimension after Connor McDavid had opened the game with the first goal in a spectacular fashion, by the way. But Chase, did you enjoy that USA victory?
Oh, hell yeah. Have fun sucking on second place, you hosers.
America.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That was
Goddamn
awesome.
right.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, the Kachucks giving you 2 goals in the first game, giving you 2 fists in the second one. Any way you want it. They'll probably give you 2 assists in the
T. Miller as well. I forgot about that one. But also, speaking of the Kachuk brothers, did you see that hit that he laid on Drew Doughty on the boards as well? That was that's just Brady Kachuk being Brady Kachuk, and you love to see it. You love to see it also going into their home because it was on Canadian soil. They booed our national anthem, and then we go out and we win in every single way. It was absolutely spectacular. But to be honest, all of that physical play, the fighting, it doesn't really matter unless you go out on the ice and win the game, and they absolutely did. And one guy, believable.
The speed and physicality of hockey is underrated.
Yeah.
It's truly like the best sport out there.
It's just been so much fun to watch, just that brand, the best players in the world, and USA isn't intimidated by the fact that you look on the other side and you see Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, and Sidney Crosby, etc., because USA's got a pretty talented team as well. And speaking of that talented team, one guy that I think we really need to shout out is Connor Hellebuyck, who this year has been the best goaltender in the NHL, but we've got him and the Canadians do not. 25 saves and 26 attempts.
Nice.
This year he was, I believe he's second in save percentage, first in goals allowed per game, and he's first in shutouts, and the USA has him. He was great against Finland, great against Canada as well. You love to see it. Got to shout out Jake Gunsel as well, had a couple of goals, but we all know, because this is a Detroit sports show, who the offensive MVP of that game was, and that was one Mr. Dylan Larkin. You love to see it. a couple of goals. The first one, it was off of a deflection, off of an errant Sidney Crosby pass. So for all of you who hate Sidney Crosby, that must have been like porn to you. Passed ahead to Dylan Larkin, just streaked across the ice, used that speed, put in a perfect shot. Love to see it. But even on the empty netter, and I understand empty netter goals, that's they're easier. It was Dylan Larkin who deflected the clear out by Brock Faber, was able to gather the puck, pass it to a wide open Jake Gunsel, sealed the game. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And Dylan Larkin, the game after, against Finland, he only had 11 minutes. Against Canada, he had 16, and he was arguably the star of the game. You could argue Hellebuck, you could argue Charlie McAvoy, you could argue Jake Gunsel, but you certainly could argue Dylan Larkin. Chase, how'd you feel watching Dylan Larkin kind of have his national coming out party?
I thought he played really well. He also got bumped up to the third line, so that, part of why he saw some extra minutes. In the second period, he was the difference maker. He almost had the go-ahead goal. Went past Binnington, right off the post and wide, and then he was able to get a little bit of his redemption on the shot that went in, gave us the game-winning goal. And then, like you said too, he's making the extra pass, being a leader out there, and giving it to Gensel. Easy open netter. He could have taken it himself, possibly as like the more selfish play, possibly gets deflected. Whatever happens, you don't really know, but he's playing really well. You can tell that the team likes him, and like he's earned some respect from the coaches, and his teammates obviously like getting bumped up from the from the fourth line to the third line. So, happy to see it. Hope he continues to play well. It's just going to make us look better here in Detroit and give him some more respect across the rest of the National Hockey League.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned it about him being bumped up, because that's one of the ways in which Mike Sullivan, the head coach of USA Hockey, was able to tinker with things. I don't know if he necessarily needed to, but given how the game played out, having Dylan Larkin on that third line, having him get more minutes, having him make a couple of the biggest plays of the game, that might have been the difference. And yeah, as I said before, USA beating Canada in hockey is always fun, especially as I said before, Canada's got a damn talented team, but USA, when you look across that roster, it's not quite as talented as Canada from top to bottom, but they still are really elite, and they might just win the whole bleeping thing. I would love to see it. KG, I know you're not the biggest hockey guy, but you're starting to get into it.
Yeah.
But you're a resident of the great old US of A. How'd you feel about that Four Nations victory?
How can you be upset about it, man? USA just continues to display the best talent on the ice at all times, man. So I really look forward to what the development will be of a Lucas Raymond, of a Dylan Larkin going forward, at least from the Red Wing side, because these are two of the youngest. Dylan Larkin's been around for a while, but Lucas Raymond, one of the young, promising stars in the game. It looks like he is ascending and taking that, step in the next step in his progression, man. So you love to see that. Dylan Larkin going out there, being the speedy guy, doing what he does. You just love to see it, man. And I think this says a lot about the projection of what the Red Wings will look like in maybe another year or so. Could we possibly be competing for cups in the next couple of years?
Yeah. Certainly down the road, 100% could certainly be competing for at least a playoff series win this year. And honestly, when it comes to hockey, you really never know what can happen.
Yeah,
I understand that
you just got to get in the dance.
That they're probably going to have a tough matchup if they get in, and that is still a big if because the East is so deep with talent. But yeah, seeing Dylan Larkin show out, seeing Lucas Raymond even, I know he plays for Sweden, so we don't have quite the rooting interest, but he still has 3 assists in 2 games, more than a point per game in the Four Nations tournament as well. So the Red Wings are certainly doing us proud, and you love to see it. Just a spectacular game. And I don't know about you, Chase. When I saw Connor McDavid in his goal, I'm not saying that I thought that USA was going to lose, but that was one of those where it's like, damn, I know you play for Canada and I have to hate you today, but that was filthy.
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously, it's like a double-edged sword. He's like, you're watching like incredible talent, but then when you're looking at like, oh, that's not the team I want to see, lighten up the board. So, it's like it's a double-edged sword, but it is fun to watch. And, comparative to like the other, all-star type events that we had going on over the weekend, I'd much rather tune in to what the NHL has going on 100 times out of 100 comparatively. So I think it's competitive, it's fun, it's fast, it's growing the game. So I love it. I think it's really awesome.
I would agree with that because the NBA All-Star game,
Well, we're definitely going to talk to Kool-Aid about that. But I don't know if he would ever admit that it was, but it wasn't great. I'll just say that. But
Yeah.
Kool-Aid still being there, he got a lot of insight, and we're going to talk to him about that. But before we get to Kool-Aid and we go to break, one other thing that I have to highlight about that game, Canada had 2 power plays.
Damn.
And you see Sidney Crosby, Nate McKinnon, Connor McDavid on a power play line. USA killed both of them. Both of them.
One thing that I'm a little interested in if we do play Canada in the championship is Cale Makar was out that game with a sickness.
He was.
So, like, that adding that power play, like, substitute Josh
Yeah.
Morrissey out with Cale Makar. And it's like, that's pretty tough task to stop those guys.
No, Chase. We want to be like, oh, Cale Makar being out, that didn't happen. But it's true. It was.
The big
It
thing for
was,
the
yeah.
USA and like the big difference that like between the Team USA and Team Canada is the goaltending. I mean, something happens to Connor Hellebuck, who is having a phenomenal year, like clear front runner for the Vezina, in the conversation for the Hart Trophy, which is the NHL MVP. But I mean, even if we don't have him, Jake Ottinger is leagues better than Jordan Binnington. Like to have Jordan Binnington in the net, like you're kind of sitting there like Team Canada, like geez, I can't believe we're kind of getting away with a few of these.
That's
like,
a great point.
He's the reason that they went to overtime against Sweden.
Yeah, and that first Gunsel goal, that should have been saved. It should have been saved.
He had one good run in 2019, and like he captured the magic then, and like the Lightning's been out of the bottle since.
Yeah, it's just proof though that if you want to win games in the NHL, you've got to prevent goals that are preventable, and you've got to kill power plays, and that's what the USA has done. And at least in the case of the first Jake Gunsel goal, that should have been saved. It wasn't. USA reaps all the benefits, and they were able to get that win with a goal in the second period and an empty netter. But coming up next, we got to talk to our very own Detroit Kool-Aid because he is still in San Francisco. He experienced all the things.
He not coming back, y'all. I'm telling y'all. He Hollywood now. He not coming back.
That's all right. We will continue to hold it down as long as he wants to be Hollywood. And oh, by the way, before we go, that was my laptop bag. I see what you guys are doing in there. That was my laptop bag. It was a little bit of it was a morning. I'll just say that,
right,
but that's all right. Nobody wants to hear about my excuses and everything. But the point is that I left it right here and I took it off. It's my laptop bag. I'm not going to go crazy or anything. I'm actually feeling pretty calm, or I was until the morning happened. But
no, fuck that. I'm gonna stick up for my man's. He had a tough morning, dealing with the traffic and all that. So y'all take it easy on Flannel today, man. That's all. That's all I got. Take it easy on my guy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, KG. But, yep, we're going to talk to Kool-Aid when we come back. But first, I have to tell you about Planet Fitness because it's where your fitness is essential. They have over 50-plus Metro Detroit locations. And if you want the easiest and the cheapest membership, you can get one for only $15 a month, but you only get access to your home gym, or you could upgrade to the Black Card for $24.99 per month and get access to all kinds of other amenities, such as being able to go to any Planet Fitness across the world, and actually, if you want to do both, getting to bring a guest with you. Join today in club or online or visit planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won.
David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Us here at Woodward Sports. Scan that QR code on screen. Use code word Woodward1000. All you have to do is deposit $1,000, and all you need to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. And you know what? If it doesn't hit, they will throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. It's Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Go out and make yourself some money today.
Making his All-Star Game debut, this former #1 overall pick is leading the resurgent Detroit Pistons, Cunningham.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my goodness, that is like porn to me. You just love to see it. And say what you want about All-Star Weekend, and I know Kool-Aid's going to have a lot to say about it, but seeing Cade Cunningham there really, I mean, I know that we've seen Andre Drummond and we've seen Blake Griffin, but this hits differently because he is the present, he is the future, and I think he is going to be the man when the Pistons get back to those glory days. But speaking of the glory days, it's always the glory days when we can talk about Pistons with Kool-Aid, and
Yes,
now
sir.
Kool-Aid is joining us live from San Francisco.
Fired up.
Really
Fired up.
Hold on.
Right?
He done changed, man. You changed.
Man.
Kid Kool-Aid, man. Come here.
Hey, what up, though?
Kid Kool-Aid, what up?
He's been out here representing, man. He's been out here representing. And you know what? Let me be for real. I got the big three shades on y'all. I got them on really because what I experienced during All-Star Weekend is really a testament to the chat family and what you all have made this platform. We do what we can. But hearing from some people down here, hearing from some people in the NBA offices who've tapped in, that's the thing that they're blown away by. Just how much support we have, and not just within the shows, but also on socials. And that's why this is something that can happen. USA, go USA Hockey, and get flannel to NHL All-Star Weekend next season.
Hey, I appreciate that, Kool-Aid. But
Yeah.
so you've been out there covering the All-Star Game, which is an amazing opportunity for you. And I know that the reviews of All-Star Weekend were mixed, to put it nicely. But I just want to ask you, what was an experience that you had that really stood out to you this weekend?
You know what? Being able to see both the media work and the players just on a human level. The type of access that we got, it is the greatest level of access credential-wise I've ever had. And you're just sitting there. It's just like, oh, hi, Anthony Edwards. You know, and you're able to kind of talk to these guys in a moment where they're being vulnerable. The pressure is off, and it was really, really cool. But the crazy moment for me is, like, I've been around athletes. I've played ball with pro athletes and pro-am and such. It's the media people for me, man. I was sitting there in line, and it was David Aldridge, man. DA.
Wow, yeah.
I was like, man, like, yo, I don't skip you in 2K, bro. Like, it's,
Yeah.
I was sitting there, like, David Aldridge. I turned around, right, and I looked back, and he was gone. And, like, Hunter Patterson from Athletic, Cody Davis from the Detroit News out there, they were like, that was him. And I was like, dang, I thought I missed my opportunity. And I'm sitting there doing an All-Star game, and he just walks up, sits down right in front of me. Got to say my what up goes to David Aldridge and be able to shake a hand and get some some type of advice from him. So that type of stuff was really, really dope to see the legends in media that we've grown up that's made the game enjoyable for us, aside from just the product on the court. It was cool to meet those guys.
Kool-Aid out there rubbing shoulders with everybody. Can't return no text, man. You done changed, bro. Like I thought you was down for the woo, man. What's up with you?
Come on, man.
What's up with you?
I'm still WUW Crew, man.
Man, I ain't trying to hear that. Hey, nah, shout out to my boy. You've been out there working hard. That Funny Marco content was really good. Meant to tell you that. That was very well done. Shout out to Funny Marco. But how did you feel? And we didn't get a chance to really see Cade, much of him in the All-Star game, unfortunately, because they got bounced pretty early. But, you know, him competing in the three-point contest, I thought that went fairly well. He wasn't the very last. You know, he scored more than 14. So shout out to my boy. He went out there and competed. But just talk about how did you feel Cade looked amongst, you know, some of the brass of the NBA, some of the greats of the NBA. Did Cade fit in that element, and just what are your takeaways about, you know, his first All-Star appearance?
Yeah, he definitely fit in that element, and that's what I'm saying. Like, being able to see how these guys interact with each other, seeing how they're walking around in the tunnels and all that type of stuff, where they go back for the media mixers. Cade Cunningham has a presence. It was interesting to hear how the crowd reacted to different people being introduced, and Cade Cunningham was one of those guys that was getting, you know, a loud applause. Think about how popular Blake Griffin is. Think about how epic that season was for Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
When he made All-Star for the Pistons and drugged them there, almost by himself. And he only received 670,000 votes. And I was able to ask Cade Cunningham about the fact that, like, bro, you know you got over 200,000 more votes than that. And running into different people down here, I'm thinking I'm running into Pistons fans. These people are not even from Michigan and not from Detroit. Some of them from, like, overseas. There's people who've been following them since college. It's some people, like the large majority, they were like, bro's just a bucket. Like, I fell in love with this game when the Pistons started doing better, and now I'm a Pistons fan. Now I'm a Cade Cunningham fan. So it's cool to see that type of effect he's had on the game. And him, he's just been cool, calm, and collected, man. He fits, he belongs, and he said he appreciated this experience. It's one he wants to have for a long time. And the questions he was getting, they were like, yo, who's going to be the face of the league in 5 years? He was like, you mean like if I can't say me? And I'm like, you can say you. He was like, me? That's my dog.
Right.
That's just kind of how he's been this entire weekend.
You know, he carried that Detroit with him everywhere. I absolutely love that aspect of him. And we're going to see many more of Cade appearances in the All-Star game, man. So shout out to him. And I got to just get, you know, just from a personal standpoint, what was your favorite experience of the All-Star weekend? Because, hey, man, Mac McClung trying to keep the dunk contest alive by his damn self, man. Him dunking over the Kia, absolutely amazing. He won the dunk contest off the first dunk. The three-point contest, you know, somewhat entertaining as well. What was your favorite moment from All-Star weekend?
If I could just be vulnerable, just being there, man. You know, I got my wife, I got kid Kool-Aid, we got the baby with us as well. So sharing that moment with them, he was able to go to the Rising Stars Challenge. The day was hectic. We got in like late. We went straight to the arena, but they were hospitable. They like literally checked our bags there because we couldn't stop by the hotel first. Walked in. As soon as we walked in, Lasar Thompson is going, and like my heart, man, I was like, oh man, my kid's gonna miss this opportunity to have an experience I can only dream of having, you know. And so to be here amongst it all, it was like little kid me is just like proud, you know what I mean. So to know that my kid got that now, it was just a different feeling. And for me, it was just the hospitality, man. So I got some of the things that they gave us, like welcome gifts and all that type of stuff, man. Hey, the pockets are tight, so, you know, they gave us little food vouchers, man, that type of stuff. It mattered. But being able to just kind of connect with Cade Cunningham, the person, connect with some of the other media, because, you know, we had a couple of Detroit media was there, connect a little bit more with Pistons PR, but the reception from other people, man, that type of stuff, it just goes a long way. And I'd be remiss if I don't say this, man. Shout out to the WUW Crew. There was a lot of people down there that are way up there, The Score and other different publications that were like, hey, man, I watch you guys' podcast all the time. Like, I watch you guys on WUW Pistons, and I found out about WUW Sports. Now I'm part of the WUW Crew. Like, I'm grateful for you all. I am beyond grateful. And Travis, you know, one of our social guys, our social manager, he crushed this.
Yeah,
absolutely. Shout out Trav. He was on social duty the whole time. I'm getting him all the interviews, all of the footage, all that stuff. And our goal was 100,000 engagement. We're already well beyond that, like double. So I just want to say shout out to the team, man, because this is what it's about.
Hey, shout out to you, Kool-Aid, and shout out to the WUW Crew as well. Proud to be a part of such an exceptional team. Are you good to hang on the line while we go to break, and we'll come back and ask you some more questions?
Yeah, let's rock.
Awesome. JB, where do you want me to go with this?
I got to tell them about merch, actually.
Merch?
Some of that Woodward Sports merch as it is going on right now. Head over to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. We're dropping new designs for you every single week. I'm telling you right now, we need some All-Starcade, gear going up right now, but we'll get there eventually. But we got the LFG Red Wings hoodies, T-shirts as well too, and you can't forget about the Tigers because that season is starting up very, very soon. So go over there, get decked out, get swagged out. Season's almost here, baby.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
One.
What's up, people? It's your good brother KG here to tell y'all about Lady Jane's, man. And shout out to the Janes, always working hard over there. But you just want to feel like a guy sometimes. You want to come in, feel comfortable, and not worry about judgment, and just get your haircut and be around some lovely ladies, man. Well, come to Lady Jane's. We got all of that for you, man. Hot leather, neck shave, hot towel treatment. Towel placement does vary, so watch yourselves, you little horny guys. But hey, they are open 7 days a week. Walk-ins anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Damn, KG.
I had to throw the sauce on it.
Calling out the patrons of Lady Jane's like that.
Yeah, I mean, somebody be horny, man. You just got to be real about it.
Well,
Depends on the right one. Depends on the right one.
To be fair, though,
I'm just saying,
when the mask
Justin Tuckers don't just happen. I'm just saying.
When the mask cam comes on, I see a lot of you in the chat right there. Hey, but they are
giving their whole life story to the Jane. Like, damn, just enjoy the haircut, bro. Damn.
But anywho, you can get a great haircut there and just look good coming out of it. Before we get,
I done killed Chase. I love it. I had to get y'all at least once, man.
Before we get back to Kool-Aid, we can get this back on the rails.
Yeah.
Ryan's reaction with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you. And if you want us to read your comment, jump to the front of the line. Please send in those super chats. Ryan's reaction, just dropping in. Goff is the lowest playoff TD to playoff games played ratio quarterback starting in the league. I think what he's referring to is that Jared Goff has started 10 playoff games and only has 9 touchdown passes. I mean, and that's kind of the reality of Jared Goff. Throughout his career, he's been an up and down playoff quarterback, and that's unfortunately and fortunately, because definition of up and down, reared itself with the Lions. Very good in 2023, bad in 2024. Hopefully can rebound in 2025.
And I can shoot him a little bit of bail. I think that, some of the offenses he's been a part of, he hasn't really had to throw the football a whole lot. So I think it's just more so of the type of offenses that he's been around. You look at what he had with the Rams, Todd Gurley. It wasn't really an offense predicated on him passing the ball a whole lot. And the same thing with the Lions, man. Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery. So, I just shoot him a little bit of bail. That's all. But
Fair enough. And like I said, hopefully he bounces back in this upcoming season, and assuming the Lions get to the playoffs. But we've got Detroit Kool-Aid still on the line, and I wanted to ask you another question about Cade Cunningham.
Add breaks, man.
Add reads and breaks. Kool-Aid, you know all about that.
You
life.
gotta be here.
But
what up, though?
But Cade Cunningham, and I know you hinted at it in an earlier question, but seeing All-Star Weekend and just seeing him there, getting all the votes, seeing the reception that he got, is it evident to you now that Cade Cunningham is not just a Detroit star, but a national star?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was what I was hinting at in my question. Just the fan reaction. Even Kid Kool-Aid here, he was like, man, my favorite moment. He was like, I was so pumped when I just saw Cade Cunningham take the floor for the first time as an All-Star, like actually touch the floor. And you could tell the reception. When he got that dunk over Wemby, people were like, dog. Like, and going down and being around media, people were like, man, Cade is really this good? Where did he come from? We're like, really? This is where eyes are just starting to kind of be on him now. Now he's in the spotlight, and you all are able to see what he can do. Yes, he did take a little bit of a leap. But, those of us who've kind of been in the trenches here, and if you have watched Pistons basketball anytime before this year over the last 3, you've been in the trenches, then you knew Cade Cunningham had this type of ability. And, yeah, people believe that Cade Cunningham is one of those next steps. You just kind of talk to media, other publications, national publications, Bleacher Report was in the building. Yes, that's the reason why you see a Funny Marco and Bleacher Report doing content with a Cade Cunningham is because they want to be first to what's next. That's Cade Cunningham.
Love to see it. And speaking of Pistons at All-Star Weekend, how do you think Asar Thompson acquitted himself?
Yes.
Nice.
You know what? Obviously, people were like, hey, we want to see the free throws, but be made, and we'll always say yes to that. But everything else for what this weekend is supposed to represent, he belonged. It's just a certain aura that our Pistons guys carried with them. And you can tell that they belong, man. And that was the thing. Just being able to talk to Asar Thompson. Again, this is the most I've been able to talk to them in one kind of conversational setting, press conference type setting. Some like media scrums off to the side where they specifically, Pistons PR specifically said, no, this scrum is just for our Detroit media. Like that type of stuff was dope. They're dapping us up. They're fist pumping us. They're like, yo, man, thank y'all for coming out here and covering us. And just seeing Asar out there, this is an experience he said he wants to be a part of for years to come. Now, we know he can't be a part of the Rising Stars for years to come. So that means he has All-Star aspirations. And that's my biggest takeaway from this weekend is that our guys, we're just like, we want more. It's almost that DNA that the Lions have. When we say that, like Amon-Ra wants his All-Pros and his Pro Bowls, he don't care how insignificant they can be in the grand scheme of things, but they want all that's supposed to be theirs. That's what I saw from a guy like Asar Thompson this weekend.
I'm so glad that you said that because it's a perfect segue. Whether or not Asar is going to be an all-star someday in his career, that's to be seen. But I think we all love his talent and what he's brought to the Pistons this year. But do you think having an experience like this, being at the Rising Stars, will actually give him that extra motivation, that extra hunger to be at this game in an all-star capacity someday, joining his teammate Cade Cunningham?
Yeah, and this one other thing too here, man.
Okay.
Sibling rivalry is real. And if you ask anybody, Amon Thompson's trajectory is all-star. Asar is not just going to sit by and let that idly happen.
That's a fact.
And that's the thing. It's like, when we did all of our pre-draft stuff and we had a source that literally, was in the gym with these guys. It's like they said, Asar Thompson was a guy who literally lived it. When he got that one question at the press conference of, so what do you do, after practice, in your free time? He was like, he was stuck, bro. It looked like the robot malfunction. He was like, I just hoop, man. Like, I go to other courts and take my gym shoes, my ball. I go to the court and I hoop, and I come home and I rest. I try to eat good. And, I study, other players, and then I get up and I go to practice. And it was just like, man, that's a guy who I'm not going to count out as it relates to being a part of All-Star Weekend for years to come. I believe he will become an All-Star with the Detroit Pistons.
And Mike G, you a clown in the chat trying to mimic Baby Kool-Aid noises, man. Shout out to Baby Kool-Aid in the background. But now that we've hit all. But now that we've hit All-Star break and we've kind of had a chance to not reset, but just see everything that has happened so far this year. What are your takes about the Pistons at the halfway point right now? How can we expect them to look coming out of this? And a lot of people expect this to be a playoff team, not a play-in team, a playoff team outright. So just what are your takes about how the Pistons trajectory looks going forward?
Bro, I'm so glad you asked that because that was my question to Cade Cunningham last night. And when I get back, obviously, we're going to go through all of the stuff, do some special streams where we can go through all this. So, KG, Flannel, JB, the whole WUW Crew needs you guys a part of that. But Cade said that the mindset, obviously, is playoffs. That's the goal. But the mindset is not easing into anything. He said they want to get right into it. They want to just hit the ground running because you're in your last 27 games of the season. You're sitting in the 6th seed, which means, and you own some tiebreakers. So you own your destiny to that number 6 seed.
Yep.
And so Cade Cunningham's whole approach, he said, is that as soon as they get back, they're just trying to get on the same page for how they're going to accomplish making this their floor and trying to move up into the standings. Cade says he's really and literally coming for everybody's necks. Like, he's the guy. He believes he's the one that should be talked about as the face of the league. He believes in his teammates. He believes that the squad they got right now is one that they can definitely make some noise with this year. And I'm sitting here like, man, dog, he's making me like really want to go and like if I was really like a sports bettor, go and lay some bones on the Detroit Pistons to lock in that 6th seed if you could. Like,
don't worry, I got you.
He's very confident, and they are in sync. We talked about the dysfunction of some of the other teams. This squad is so in sync, and it was cool too to see Jaden Ivey walking without his walking.
Hey,
that's what you want to hear.
Hey, love to see that. Maybe Ivy back for the playoffs. I mean, we'll see.
Don't tease us, Flannel. Don't do that. Don't do that.
We'll see. But seeing Cade Cunningham at the All-Star game, and obviously this is going to be a Cade heavy topic because he was our only All-Star, and he's the star of Detroit. But do you think in the second half there's an even greater gear that Cade Cunningham can go to? Because we already know right now I got him third in the whole bleeping MVP voting, and you do too, Kool-Aid. Yeah. Is there even another gear that he can go to help ensure that the Pistons can stay no worse than the 6th seed?
Hey, Kool-Aid, most improved locked up, bro. To me, at least to me.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And I'm going to continue to tell you this. KG was very bullish on this people from the beginning of the season. And somebody I've been very bullish on since before he was drafted is Cade Cunningham. I do believe there's another level there. And I think it's because of the chemistry that this team is building. They're just now getting into a rhythm offensively, and this is the most connected they've been defensively. And so I expect on the other side of this break for Cade Cunningham to have a little bit more help because I believe some of these guys are going to be more fresh. You know what? It was strategic here is Malik Beasley. You think about what happens to certain guys' shots, their legs, and everything that goes on with All-Star Weekend. And so when I hear some of the rumors, when I get to talk to Malik Beasley, I haven't gotten the direct answer. I will ask him as soon as I get back. I believe that this was a decision made for the betterment of the team. Let Malik Beasley rest. Let him rest. That boy has been working. He's put up a lot of threes. Just let him rest. And so I do believe the Pistons are making strategic moves to gear up for an extreme playoff run. And that will be because of what Cade Cunningham does down the stretch as well. I think that there is another level. I believe we're going to see more 30-point games out of Cade Cunningham than like the 20 to 22-point games towards this last 27 games of the season.
Love to see it. Whatever it takes to win. I know Cade Cunningham is that kind of player, but
yeah.
I know that you've covered the Pistons for a while now, and you've rubbed elbows with a lot of NBA players. Was there anybody this weekend that you're just like, wow, this guy just looks different in person and you got starstruck by? Or are you over that by now?
I wouldn't necessarily say starstruck with the players, but what's the word? Or, you know, Jaylen Brown, Kyrie Irving.
Of course.
Let me think about who else. Tyler Herro. Those guys just carried a little bit
Tyler Herro.
mystique about them, man. Even Tyler Herro, like, they carried a different mystique about them, but like in terms of like the biggest media scrums, it was guys like LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, but I think it was Kyrie. That was probably the one. And he got so many different questions, so many different media outlets, so many different media members. Like if I could have taken a picture, it was just a crowd of people around his, whereas other people might have had, like Jason Tatum had half of that. You know, other people had like a quarter of that type of a media scrum. So it was interesting to just see the interaction between Kyrie Irving and, obviously he got a lot of questions about Luka Doncic as well. But that was one player. I'm trying to think of another. Ant-Man. Let me not even stop. You talk about somebody who is like modern day Prime, shades on, hoodie on, walks up, and he's very polite. Hey, what up, man? Hey, good to see you here. I'm like, man, I don't even know you. I'm like, I don't even know him, but hey, man, what up, though? I'm like, what up, though, man? And he just keeps going. And then Dame Lillard, he was one that was like probably the most down to earth. Like he just kind of walks in, like you're supposed to walk with your security detail and your PR and all that into the PR room. He just walks in. He don't care. He just bumping into people. Hey, what up? My bad. Daps us all up. I'm not even covering him. He's like, hey, and just keeps walking. So you see those types of interactions, that type of stuff, man. Those players were the ones though that kind of stuck out to me the most, besides like Cade and Sar.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I want to circle back to Kyrie really quick. As from in your opinion, what is it about Kyrie that makes him so fascinating to everybody? Like when I hear that Jason Tatum's media scrum was half of Kyrie's, I like almost fell out of my chair.
Yeah, Kyrie is a cultural phenomenon. I'm
Okay.
trying to tell you,
All right.
like he carries a certain, like he
Okay.
said, an aura about him, man.
Okay.
It's like he's box office. You know, every time you see him, he's box office. But Kool-Aid, my bad, I ain't mean to interrupt. Go ahead and elaborate on that.
No. You're preaching it, brother. Bro, this is just a show. This is
Yeah.
we're the crew. Like you're preaching and then run with it. That's what a team is. And just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, that's kind of what it was. He was asked some basketball questions, asked some Luka Doncic questions, but then it seemed like a third of the questions were like cultural things. Asking him about different situations happening in the world, asking his take on like peoples and such, and it was interesting to kind of hear this back and forth between Pete and the media, and it was nothing that could really shake him up. He was just always kind of just down to earth, kind of cool, calm, collected, and it got real funny when Funny Marco went over to Kyrie Irving as well. Funny Marco, he didn't get content with everybody. It was some specific players that he made sure to get content with. So that's what it was real cool that he did stuff with Cade Cunningham. But he went over to Kyrie Irving, was asking him some stuff, and they had some cool back and forth. He was asking him about like animes, like he gets asked stuff like that, like animes, your food. It was almost as if like if Kyrie started his own reality TV show, he would probably be one of the most watched, man. It was crazy to see that reception. I didn't even know it was like that. I'm like, hey, I like him to hooper. I haven't been tapped in that way that KG was talking about, but I saw that, like what KG was saying, I saw that on display amongst the media and the fans.
That is fantastic information and insight, and just all around Kool-Aid. Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to have you back on the show tomorrow.
Hey, keep crushing, man. Keep crushing. Y'all hit that like button for the WUW Crew, and continue to support these Detroit Pistons. We told y'all a long time ago, tap in with them, man. Tap in with them. It's going to be a fun last 27 games of the season, and I do believe that they got a good opportunity to move up maybe one spot, but they definitely solidify that 6th seed. But most importantly, thank you, Sam. Thank you, KG. Thank you, JB. Thank you, Cavassier, for you guys definitely including me in this show today, man. I appreciate y'all so much.
Oh, you always got an open seat, even though you Hollywood now, man. It's all good, but the bandwagon almost leaving on the Pistons, man. Y'all might want to get on, man. Y'all might want to get on now. And we working on that. We got something cooked up for the people, man, to try to get to Vegas Summer League. So we can do a show from out there, man. Looking forward to it. But safe travels to you and the fam.
Thank you, Kool-Aid.
Thanks, Kool-Aid.
Blessings, man.
Yep, my guy.
Yes, and when we come back, we're going to tee a little LB. Of course, talk a little bit, talk Lions.
It wouldn't be a day if we didn't.
Wouldn't be a day if we didn't, because there's a certain free agent to be wide receiver that has been linked to the Lions, and I want to go around the room and just get everybody's temperature on it. I think I know how it's going to go, but you just never know. But first, JB, where do you want us to go with this one?
Let me see. I wonder if Kyrie Irving still thinks the earth is flat. But we
He
got
probably
Dr.
do.
Pierce.
Dr. Pierce.
Hey, Dr. Pierce. Shout out to Dr. Pierce. Always checking in with Woodward Sports Tuesdays on Big D Energy and Thursdays on Ermanni and Edwards Whitmaz, where he is providing y'all with some of the best injury insights in the game. And, of course, that secret sauce that we all don't know what it is, but he knows what it is, and that's what's important. Shout out Michigan Sports and Spine Center and Amon-Ra of Southfield. It's Dr. Jeff Pierce every Tuesday and every Thursday. Tap in.
All right, hear me out. In a way,
Planet Fitness
because of how
membership
small
for
we are.
$15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Hey, Mark White, gonna get you right. Mark White's gonna change your life. Shout out Easy for that. But you know what? If you are if you're just in the market to buy a home, call Mark White because they can save you $5,000 on your new home. Visit their website at markwhitesells.com or give them a call at 248-290-8242. Again, 248-290-8242. That is Mark White. Keeping it pushing live on Wake Up Woodward. I am Flannel Sam. We got KG to my left. My bad.
It's the other brother. Now it's not Kool-Aid, but shout out Kool-Aid though.
Shout out Kool-Aid. He was just on, so had a lot on the brain. But KG is here filling in for Kool-Aid, who is out in San Francisco covering the All-Star game. He will be back tomorrow. We got William Baker, we got Chase, and we got JB, the usual crew in here. But Stefon Diggs. I know Stefon Diggs is somebody who played on the Texans last year, unfortunately tore his ACL, but has been a great receiver in this league for many, many years, most notably with the Bills. He's a free agent, and the 33rd team actually posted a graphic in which it predicted that Stefon Diggs would be signed by the Detroit Lions.
Wow.
See, there's the mashup of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Stefon Diggs. We posted that on our social media, on our X and our Instagram, and it certainly got a lot of reaction. So I'm going to start with you, KG. Stefon Diggs to the Lions. Are you with it or no?
No. And I mean, and it's no offense to the player that Stefon Diggs is. I'm actually more on the side of he's not as much of a locker room problem as people make him out to be. I don't feel like he's somebody who's been very, very productive in this league for a long time. You saw what he did with the Buffalo Bills. Unfortunately, he got hurt with the Texans, but before that, he was having a pretty good year with the Texans as well, man, fitting in good with CJ Stroud and what they got cooking down there. I just don't think the Lions need this at this point in their development. Now, I do understand why people would want this, and you kind of want to push all your chips into the table. We've talked about it. The Lions are in win now mode, so why not try to go over the top? But I think the Lions offense is pretty set as is. You have a great backfield, great offensive line. So the strength of this team is running the football. But when you do go out to pass, you do have a deep threat in J-Mo. You do have a Sam Laporta who can do it all from the tight end position. You do have a Amon-Ra St. Brown who is, proven to be a coverage beater, somebody that can just sit in coverage, and just his high IQ and able to diagnose plays. I don't think we need a Stefon Diggs. And for the money that you would pay Stefon Diggs, how about you pay Tim Patrick? And you can have a lot of Tim Patrick and still have some money left over. So that's kind of where I'm coming from as a Lions fan. Would I hate it? I mean, if Brad Holmes decides out of, some wild dream, sure, he wants that, I wouldn't be mad, but I don't think it's a realistic move at all.
I'm glad that you framed everything the way that you did, because I'm a no on Stefon Diggs to the Lions too. But I also think, and this is what we Lions fans tend to do, now everybody in the chat, everybody on the comments, oh, he's a locker room cancer, he's not even really that good. Actually, with the Bills between 2020 and 2023 was 4th in the NFL in receiving yards over that span.
Yeah.
He's a damn damn good player.
Damn good.
The problem is that he's 32 years old. He's coming off an ACL. He's a free agent, so you know he's going to want to get his bag. And the Lions, they just don't have, I think, the money or the desire to go after a wide receiver when you already have the best offense in the NFL. You already got Amon-Ra St. Brown, J-Mo, Gibbs, Laporta, etc., etc. I would be really upset if something like this prevented the Lions from re-signing Carlton Davis, for example, or Kevin Zeitler, or, as you said, Tim Patrick, who was damn productive but would be very, very cheap. So I'm a no on this, but I actually think Stefon Diggs could help a team that needs him more, that needs a wide receiver. Like, I'll give you an example, KG.
Yeah.
Imagine Stefon Diggs on the Chargers, for example.
God.
Put him with Lad McConkey. You know Justin Herbert could use another weapon. They've got more cap space, actually, than the Lions. The Lions, this just isn't a need. But I do think Stefon Diggs will help a team, and I don't think he's as much of a cancer as people try to make him out to be.
And you don't want to see him, and not to say that he's a selfish guy by any means, but he's going to come in here and he's going to want his targets. And I don't want to interrupt kind of the synergy that the Lions offense has had over these last few years. I know we're getting a new offensive coordinator, but a lot of the parts are the same. Jared Goff, he's a quarterback that likes to spread the ball around, and any given week it can be a J-Mo game, it can be an Amon-Ra game, it can be a Laporta game. So I don't want it, to have somebody of his ilk come in here and try to disrupt the flow of what the Lions have already built. Not to say that he would, but I just want to take that precaution as a fan, and I'm sure Brad Holmes feels the same way. About going out and signing a guy to this kind of money, to where he would kind of push for that wide receiver too, and I just don't think that you need that right now.
Yeah, what would Stefon Diggs, what does he expect? I know that he thinks that he's still elite, and maybe he is. He was good for the Texans when he played, although wasn't quite as explosive as I've seen him before. But
yeah, he slowed down a little bit.
That might just be within the flow of the offense. It's not something that the Lions can afford, especially when you're talking about them potentially getting an edge, re-signing Carlton Davis, maybe. And as we said before, Tim Patrick as the wide receiver 3 is solid.
And two things. One, I don't want to, I feel like J-Mo has earned that right to be wide receiver 2 on this team. So for you to go out and make a move like that, what does that say to somebody like J-Mo, who went from 3,000 to 1,000 yards, over the course of the season, and really just showed up when you needed him to, man? I think that says a lot in regards to what they may feel about J-Mo if they were to go make a move like this. But I feel like he's earned that wide receiver 2. And another thing, I really would like the Lions to keep Tim Patrick, because I kind of don't want to see a similar situation in which they had with Josh Reynolds. Now, I know a lot of people, they hate Josh Reynolds for what happened, how it ended, and I don't necessarily blame you as a fan, but Josh Reynolds did provide a lot, being that third or fourth option for Jared Goff in the passing offense. Tim Patrick has come in and been even better than Josh Reynolds, and I feel like if you lock him down, then I feel like this Lions offense is already complete with what they have, and you just really need to draft offensive line up.
I'm going to push back on better than Josh Reynolds. I think that Tim Patrick and Josh Reynolds were comparable. I think
Really?
You're still a little bit sullied by the drop. I know you said people aren't, but Josh Reynolds was damn good.
No, he was damn good, but I just look at Tim Patrick and some of the plays that he made downfield. I think he just makes more big catches than Josh Reynolds made during his time here. And this is no disrespect to Josh Reynolds. I thought he was pretty damn good, but it just seemed like Tim Patrick fit into this offense a little bit better, and maybe that's just me as a fan. If you don't feel that way, you can correct me on that, but I just really liked how he fit in as opposed to a Josh Reynolds, where you kind of knew, okay, he's primarily a red zone target. I feel like you can do a little bit more with a Tim Patrick and utilizing him all over the field. Am I wrong in that?
No, I don't hate that at all, but the one thing I'll say about Tim Patrick, and I just want your opinion on this, I'm obviously not trying to trap you. Last year, we know that he was coming off of 2 major injuries. He hadn't really played. He was a 1-year, $1.1 million contract. This year, he's probably going to command, 6, 7, 8?
Yeah.
Is that something you would be willing to... If you're Brad Holmes, is that too steep a price for a number 3 wide receiver, even someone as effective as Tim Patrick?
But this is why I say I don't want to see a Josh Reynolds situation, because that's the reason why they didn't re-sign him. I believe at the time he was asking for around $7 to $8 million. That was a price that, as Brad Holmes, he didn't necessarily want to pay for a third or wide receiver 3. And you let Josh Reynolds go. Now, you did get a good replacement, so I give him credit on that, but I just feel like he fit this team so well, and he seemed to already have a pretty good chemistry with Jared Goff. Why take away a target that Jared Goff is already pretty familiar with, and a guy that, you know, he's come in, he's embraced this locker room, he kind of fits the mold of what the Detroit Lions want. Why let a guy like that walk out the door? Sometimes you got to pay for what you want, and in this case, a couple extra million for a guy that's seems to be pretty reliable at that wide receiver 3-4 spot. Why not?
I don't hate that at all. For the record, I don't think 6, 7, 8 million is maybe 8's a little bit
maybe
steep.
8 is pushing it, but I would still consider it just off of what he gave you.
I think it depends on what else that the Lions want to do. If they make that splash trade and edge, if they give Carlton Davis that some term and maybe like a 15 million AAV. But yeah, this is see Justin Station. Again, if you don't play for the Lions, you suck, right? Josh Reynolds wasn't half the receiver Tim P was. Sam, you're loose. Come on. Don't hate. Let the hate out of your heart. Please, Justin Station. Josh Reynolds put up better per game numbers than Tim Patrick did. And I know that it's more than numbers, but you can't say that one was half. Do you remember the Rams game in the playoffs? I know we talk about the 49ers game, and I don't want to be a Josh Reynolds nut hugger or anything like that. I know you guys are going to act like I want him in the Hall of Fame. I'm just giving some defense. He was damn good in that Rams game. He had like 80 yards in the first quarter. He had a touchdown in the Buccaneers game as well. Josh Reynolds was good. I think Josh Reynolds and Tim Patrick were more comparable than some people. Apparently, Justin Station thinks that Josh Reynolds should get the vets minimum at this point. But anywho, JB, I want to go to you because this started about Stefon Diggs, but I also like how it can branch out into the Lions wide receiver situation. Stefon Diggs with the Lions. How are you feeling about that?
I got to pass on it. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to pass on it. I don't mind if Brad wants to, kick the tires on this deal to see what he's asking for or to see what type of role he's looking for on a new team right now. But as KG said, I don't want to mess up the gel and the flow that you have of this team right now. Like, if he comes here, like, what role is he willing to accept? Is he going to be able to accept that wide receiver 2 or 3 role? I don't think so. I still think he sees himself as a top dog or top superstar. So I still think it's a pass for me. And honestly, I would much rather have Cooper Kupp rather than Stefon Diggs, if I'm just being honest.
With Cooper Kupp, though, you already know the. I understand that, and we had this caveat, JB. I know we've had this discussion before. How much is Les Snead willing to eat of the contract? Because Cooper Kupp in a vacuum. I mean, even me, Stefon Diggs in a vacuum, I wouldn't be mad at it. But it's all about salary, and I think when it comes to the Stefon Diggs situation, I don't know what Stefon Diggs is motivated by. Obviously, he's been on the losing end of a lot of really tough playoff games with Buffalo, as all of Buffalo has. I know that he made that huge play, that miracle in Minneapolis against the Saints in that one playoff game, but they didn't really win anything. So Stefon Diggs hasn't won anything. Is he more motivated by Super Bowls or money? Because I'm looking at teams that have a lot of cap space. Do you think the Patriots would be willing to overpay for a Stefon Diggs to get Drake May some help? The type of price that the Lions would never even fathom paying, probably be an overpay for Stefon Diggs at this point. What about the Raiders? Is that something that the Raiders would do?
I think so.
Overpay for a Stefon Diggs because, I mean, they have no quarterback, but whatever the quarterback is, even if it's Aiden O'Connell, Stefon Diggs, I think, would help a young, I wouldn't say developing. I think Aiden O'Connell is what he is. But you understand what I'm saying. I mentioned the Chargers, who could use a receiver. I'm looking at if the Bears do that, that would actually be the Tennessee Titans.
They don't need to do that, honestly.
They really don't.
I don't think it'd be smart, but there's a reason why these organizations aren't smart and don't win. I mean, the Patriots, they're a little bit different, but could you see like the Raiders or the Tennessee Titans making a move like that? That probably wouldn't even help them win, but would just they see maybe Will Levis could get some help, maybe Aiden O'Connell could get some help. There's no reason why the Lions should do this for the money that he's going to command.
But
chance.
That's what goes back to the motivations conversation. Is he a guy that wants to win at this point in his career? I think he is. I do think he wants the bag. Make no mistake. He's been one of the premier receivers in the league, so I'm sure he wants his bag. But I think he's more so focused on wanting to win. So I can see him going to a Chargers situation as opposed to maybe a Patriots situation where they got the most money, but it's going to be tough sledding going forward for the next couple years. So, but I don't think that, you know, this move interests Brad Holmes. He hasn't been the type to kind of make this move. We've built a lot of our receiving talent from within, and I think he wants to keep on that track and just maybe add a veteran here or there that won't break the bank, you know. So I can see them more so in line, maybe trying to re-sign to Tim Patrick than making a move like this.
Dante151, Green Bay Packers. I mean,
it's a solid spot for them.
They don't have the cap space that the Lions do, but they have $37 million. I mean, do they? Christian Watson's probably not going to be healthy for how long? At least half the season. Left the playoff game, or left the Bears game, the last regular season game, with a torn ACL. You got Jaden Reed, who I know they're excited about, but I kind of feel like he faded a little bit down the stretch.
But I was told they had the best receiving core in the NFC North.
I mean, they got good
That's
ones.
what I was told.
They got good ones, but not necessarily a star. But so I would probably say that the Packers wouldn't do that. I would say that the Packers would be smarter.
Traditionally, that's not a move they make.
No, and I would say that the Packers, it would probably behoove them to be in the Myles Garrett sweepstakes. But maybe if they don't, it's a tough situation because you never really know how free agency is going to play out. Maybe a need presents itself that you never even can account for. And Stephen Baffey in the chat, pushing back a little bit on my Josh Reynolds, had better numbers than Tim Patrick. Sam, it's not apples to apples. Josh Reynolds had more opportunities than TP because J-Mo was tripping over himself. Watch the tape, Sam. The old Sam doesn't watch the games bit. Come on. This isn't 2022
Don't
anymore.
let him do it, Sam. Don't let him do it.
But for real, Justin Station said that Josh Reynolds was not half the receiver of Tim Patrick. That is where I pushed back on. That is where I think having better numbers is a good argument for him being at least half of Tim Patrick. But that's all right. No bear wants to listen to old flannel Sam.
I feel you, crazy old man Sam. But I don't think the difference between those two is super great. But I do kind of agree with what he said. It did seem like Josh Reynolds got more opportunities in the passing game, and maybe that was a little bit because of J-Mo. Maybe that's because of the trust he had with Jared Goff just coming out the gate. You saw the impact that he made as soon as he came to the team. So I think it could be a combination of those things. But for what Tim Patrick gave you, just in the snaps that he gave it to you in, I think that I think he's a little bit more valuable than what maybe Josh Reynolds was with the Lions.
I understand, and I think we'd be remiss not to mention this possibility. What about Stefon Diggs to the Commanders?
And you know what? I was kind of thinking that, and I was hoping you wouldn't say that, but Terry McLaurin is literally the only real, and no disrespect to De'Ami Brown, but he kind of didn't come on until the end of the year. So if they were to add a Stefon Diggs to that mix, that makes them very, very dangerous, I feel like.
Yeah, Zach Ertz, he had a resurgent season, but he's up there in age. That could be very interesting.
Cliff Kingsbury drawing it up. That's it's kind of tough.
Like Stefon Diggs has some options for teams with even more cap space than the Lions that have maybe a different need. Although Washington, I know that they're probably going to get in the edge rusher sweepstakes as well, but they've got $79.5 million of cap space right now, and the Lions have $55 million. Chase, to circle back to the original question, Stefon Diggs to the Lions, how would you feel about that possibility?
I mean, if he signed as a free agent, it would all just depend on the contract. I think the Lions are just kind of in this territory in this offseason where they're going to be the kind of hot name that teams are going to look to add, like free agent wise. We've seen it with Cooper Kupp, Myles Garrett, Stefon Diggs now. So I think we're going to kind of just be continuously in these talks with whoever is disgruntled or whoever is like possibly going to be looking to be on the move. So I think it's going to be like a bunch of. I think we're going to have this discussion a lot over the course of the next like 7 or 8 months. But I mean, again, it's all really depends on the numbers, and how long the contract would be, how much it's going to cost. I can't speak right now. I keep combining Brad and Dan.
It'd be like that.
Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have shown to be the leaders of this team that I fully bought in and believe in. So whatever they do, I'm just here to kind of just sit back and watch and enjoy the ride.
Of course, but at this point, you got to be selective in where you push your chips in because, us as fans, of course, push the chips in, go all in. What are you doing? We're in the Super Bowl window, but you do have to be careful just exactly where you place those chips because you push all in on a receiver. Let's say he gets hurt again, then was it really worth it? I think you want to push the chips in more on the defensive side of the football because the Lions' offense is pretty much set at this point.
Yeah, they're the number one offense. And I think the overlying point to all of this that I haven't even touched on yet, but I want to get everyone's opinion on this. How in the hell can a media outlet predict Stefon Diggs to the Lions? Like, there's so many more things that make more sense.
Right. But I think it speaks to what Chase was talking about. The Lions are one of those teams that a lot of people consider are Super Bowl ready, or at least a Super Bowl favorite, or ready to compete for one. So we are going to be in a lot of these conversations, even though Brad Holmes might not be looking into these type of players. But a lot of the national media are just mocking players of this caliber to the Lions because they are in a Super Bowl window.
That's a good point, because if they all fit together, that offense would just be disgusting.
I mean, if he did make a move like that and Stefon Diggs stayed healthy, that Lions offense, oh my God.
Because remember, Stefon Diggs is a damn good receiver. He's been an all-pro. He was one of the best in the league during his time with the Bills. And for the record, I know at the end, the relationship with Josh Allen got a little bit sour, but it was Stefon Diggs that unlocked Josh Allen's superpowers to begin with.
Yeah.
He wasn't the Josh Allen we know today before Stefon Diggs got there. So credit to him.
And we don't even talk about his Vikings career. He damn good career with the Vikings too. Minnesota Miracle, man.
Oh yeah, that was such a crazy play to this day. Marcus Williams, what the F were you doing? I was rooting for the Saints in that game, as we all were. I mean,
we all were for sure.
Being Lions fans.
I hate the Saints.
Hey, shout out to Real K77 in the chat, my dog, $10 super chat. Tim Patrick deserves another shot with the Lions. Brad Holmes never really gives 1-year deals another contract. I don't look for Tim Patrick to be re-signed. And I mean, maybe that's the case, but I think for what you're losing, you don't want to lose out on two guys like that. Like, you kind of already lost out on Josh Reynolds, and I know he went to Denver and it didn't necessarily work out, but that could have been different with the Lions, I feel like. But for what Tim Patrick gave you, I just don't think you want to let another guy that fits your offense well walk out the door.
But just remember, last year, Tim Patrick was injured. Brad Holmes, Stefon Diggs injured.
He has a track record with injured players. We all know that.
I'm kind of being sarcastic. That is a bit of a tired bit, because if he only signed injured players, the Lions wouldn't be this good. But he does seem to – he likes value, and Tim Patrick turned out to be an amazing value. But I don't think you can get value out of Stefon Diggs. You're going to have to pay a premium for him. If you're a team like the Commanders or the Chargers and that's the missing piece, I think you'll pay him a pretty hefty amount. If you're the Patriots and want Drake May to fast-track his development, I think you're going to pay him a hefty amount. And the Lions – they just quite simply can't do that right now. And even technically they can, but is that really Brad Holmes' MO?
Like I said, push the chips in on defense. The offense is already set and ready to go.
Yep. And Chuck Brewer gave a response to the 33rd team, saying because Lions fans interact at a high rate, it's about clicks. And
that's not that part.
I understand, because
shout out Ari Mayroff, friend of the network.
shout out Ari Mayroff. And I will say this though, the overwhelming majority on social media was like, hell no. But I also think it's more indicative that Lions fans understand that offense is good, defense could use a little bit of help. What's Stefon Diggs really going to do? I mean, does a 32-point-a-game offense need to get better necessarily?
No.
You can always use it, but you understand.
And wide receiver is a luxury position. You know, a lot of us were complaining, who's going to be wide receiver 3? Who's going to be wide receiver 4? Tim Patrick came in on a cheap contract and filled that role perfectly. So they can maybe even venture into the draft and get a younger guy. I'm not sure that's what you want to do in a Super Bowl run and be trying to develop on the fly, but it's a possibility. It's something that they can look into. So I don't think you got to pay a lot of money just for that particular position.
Well, and one other thing that is interesting on why the Lions would be predicted for Stefon Diggs is because Stefon Diggs was actually going into, with the Texans, a triplet situation where you had 3 really good receivers. I think Tank Dell in that case was the clear 3, but still, you had Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Stefon Diggs. And then this year you're talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown, J-Mo, and Stefon Diggs. That on paper, that sounds nasty.
I'm not even going to hype myself up.
Right.
It would be crazy, though, to see that.
Because now that I say it out loud, I'm like, maybe. No,
Sam.
No.
I'm surprised. Look at Sam opening up to a move like that. That don't even seem like that's in your DNA, man.
The self-restraint is
right. Big Willie style. Shout out, man.
Nah.
Get jiggy with it. Hey, people sleep on Will, man. He had a little run, man.
Yeah,
not cussing either.
Not cussing.
But what Eminem say? I cuss in my record, so fuck him and fuck you too. Oh man, that was a great line by him, man.
Hey, shout out Will Smith's rapping career. Actually, no. I can't go that far, but
you know he got a song with Big Sean. It like literally just came out maybe a couple weeks ago. He's
Yeah,
in a
I'm not
music
feeling
video.
that.
Wow.
Like I saw old Will Smith in a
Wow.
music video walking to the bathroom the other day. I'm like, why the hell is he on TV? And I'm like, he got a song with Big Sean. That's crazy. But
Shut up. Shout out Will
feeling
Smith.
yeah,
Must have
he's still
Jada
out
Pinkett
here, man,
Smith.
making music.
Hey, Millennium clears big. I'm kidding. I don't give a damn.
Sam care a little bit.
Anywho, tell us where we got to go, JB, because when we come back, it's going to be a big kumbaya when it comes to college basketball in the state.
We got
of Michigan,
hoops
because
again.
We all happy in
We
this
got
building.
hoops again.
We all happy in this building, and I definitely got to get JB's take on Michigan State because Tom Izzo got himself a record. But where do you want us to go, JB?
I got to tell them about Jars at Rail Jam. And I'm just telling you right now, Brad Holmes, just give TK85 a solid spot. We need Kennedy back out there.
No,
I'm
we
just
don't.
Saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Zero
But
receptions,
anyway,
0 yards. I will not chill on TK. Me chill on TK? You know how much I got? You know how much I've taken for the old TK stuff?
You lucky Will Baker don't know the Kennedy drop. I would tell him to play it right now. You better be glad.
Nobody can
You
get
better be
0
glad.
receptions for 0
Kennedy!
yards, quite like Tom Kennedy.
Kennedy!
Bum. Anywho,
But anyway,
It's the Great White Hope, man.
Jars Cannabis, the Rail Jam is going on this
No,
weekend.
he
So
might be for
attention, all skiers and snowboarders, get ready to send it on a 14-foot drop-in with 3 custom features at the brand new Jars Utica location parking lot this Saturday, 1 to 5 p.m. Jam style competition judged by 3 guest pros. $8,000 up for grab. To register, head over to jarscannabis.com/Jars Rail Jam to sign up. Open to skiers and snowboarders, must be 21 or over to participate. 50 participants only,
JB
so
getting
lock
real.
in your spot today. D-Mac and
JB
Stick
getting
will be
real.
doing a very special broadcast from 2 to 4 p.m. So spectators are always welcome. The event is free to attend. There's also free food with any Jars Cannabis purchase, live DJs, giveaways as well. Drop in, cash out, and as always, get real.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Hey, it's Les Stanford Chevrolet, and hey, they look at all the deals that they got. They got the 2025 Sierra
Thank God,
Crew
'cause
Cab
he ain't
for
gotta read.
$249 per month, the 2025 Hummer EV for $789 per month, and the 2024 Envision lease for $239 per month. Those are some good deals
I
if
want that
I've
Hummer,
ever
I'm not gonna lie to
seen
you.
them. So scan the
Still
QR
trying to get
code
that
above
soot.
my head if you want to see what
Sport
deals
utility truck.
that you could get into at Les Stanford, because our very own Spencer Raxter did, and if Spencer Raxter could do it, so can you guys. It's Les Stanford Chevrolet. Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward, cruising on in the second hour live on the Woodward Sports Network. I am Flannel Sam. We got KG to my left filling in for Kool-Aid. He will be back tomorrow, but we all know he's out in San Francisco covering the All-Star Game. Just wrapped up last night, but if you want to go back and watch his appearance on our show today, go to about the 8:15 or the 15-minute segment and then watch for about the next half hour. But you guys should tune into what we're doing right now, because the state of Michigan, we got it good in college basketball
About
right now.
time, man. It was bad for a while.
Obviously, I'm not happy about what's going on in Michigan State, but at least we've got somebody in here who is happy about that, and that is Mr. JB Smoove. So Michigan State got a 79-65 victory over Illinois at Illinois, and that also gave Tom Izzo, legendary Michigan State head coach, the most Big Ten wins of any coach in Big Ten history.
Yeah, salute.
So I got a two-part question for you, JB. One, how big was it to go into Illinois and get that win after that disappointing home loss to Indiana?
Ugh.
And two, what does Tom Izzo mean to you as a fan, and how much have you enjoyed watching his teams basically growing up as a fan?
That was definitely a big win this past weekend. It covers up that embarrassment that we had to endure from Indiana. I'm telling you right now, that hurt, man. That really hurt me a lot. But just to see this Spartan team go out there and get this win for Izzo, like, it makes you proud. It makes you think that, hey, you've got a shot at a very good stretch in this tournament coming up very soon. And just having to see Tom Izzo on that sideline throughout the years, it's just like having that warm feeling that your coach is there. Your coach is going to be there. He's always got your team's back. He's always going to be there every single game, and he's going to be ride or die for his kids that are out there on the floor. So I'm just happy for Izzo to reach this mark, and it's a huge milestone for him. I'm so proud of this team and for him over all these years he's been staying committed to Michigan State, man.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, when it comes to Tom Izzo, everybody knows I'm on some hater shit. However, However, I can't just ignore what he's done.
Yeah.
He's the best Big Ten coach of my lifetime, and definitely at worst second next to Bob Knight, although Tom Izzo just broke Bob Knight's record, so that's another feather in his cap. And I will even admit, as a Michigan fan, I love Steve Fisher, I love John Beilein. We ain't never had anybody as good as Tom Izzo.
No,
so
sir.
Yes. Take that for what you may, take that what you will coming from me. But so JB, I'll ask you another question about Michigan State. How confident do you feel them moving forward? Because they got a big showdown at Ann Arbor on a Friday.
I cannot wait.
On Friday. That's going to be a heck of a game, and we're going to cover it extensively on Friday's show and do our previews. But
are you going to be there, Sam?
The tickets are really expensive. We'll see.
We'll see. Both teams finally good at the same time. I know, man. It's been a while.
Those are tickets hit the old triple digits, so we'll see. Hey. Super chats.
Might call in Braylon for a favor.
Very smart man. But Michigan State, I know you probably didn't waver in your confidence after they lost to Indiana, but is this still a team that you think can make noise and win the Big Ten and then get to a Final Four, maybe more than that?
I'm still confident in them, although this game did show that, maybe Tom Izzo finally got to them and said, hey, chill out on all the three-point attempts. Like, we know it's not working, so let's just try to attack the paint and go inside as much as we can. So hopefully he kind of got that instilled in them. But yeah, this upcoming battle between Michigan and Michigan State this Saturday should be very good. I was tapped into the Michigan game for a little bit as well, too. I seen, hey, You guys are out there putting in work.
Damn right we are.
I gotta give you guys credit. So this weekend is going to be a battle. But once again, I'm still ride or die for my squad, and I'm fully confident that they will come out this weekend with a victory. I know it's the same for you and yours as well, Flannel.
But are you even more? Did you see the game Jackson Kohler played? I know that he's somebody who can tend to be polarizing amongst Michigan State fans. I mean, what's your view on him, and has your view of him upped a little bit after that was probably the best game of his Michigan State career? I would say undoubtedly the best game of his Michigan State career.
Honestly, it was probably his best game out there that he's had this whole season. But hey, I'm still confident in him. Like I do think he needs to just settle down to some of the shots that he does take, but still, I've got confidence in him. I know Izzo does as well, too. This weekend will be the test, though. This will be the big test that he's going to have to prove himself. So,
personal growth here. I obviously still don't like Michigan State, but I am happy that you're happy, JB.
I appreciate
it. Because you're
that's sweet shit.
You are probably my favorite Michigan State fan. And I'm not gonna act like
Damn, what Spenny do to you?
No, Spenny's my guy, but you do have the woo bump that he does not have in terms of me because you're on my show. And Spenny be shit talking sometimes.
No, yeah, he gonna chirp all week, bro. It's about to be bad all week.
But that's all right. That is quite all right because Michigan is doing pretty well in their own right. And you know what? We got a little bit behind. Let's take a break and talk about Michigan's big victory over Ohio State. First place in Big Ten.
You damn right.
What do you
Built to ass, bro.
Y'all better stop playing with Vlad and them.
Built to ass.
Let me tell you about Soroki's, though. Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza. They still got their signature wings that they're offering right now for you. So call over your friends, order a pizza, and add some wings onto that order as well, too. 7 different flavors for you, as you can see up on screen right there. And don't fear, because if you don't have time to go in-store to order, you can always order online at Sorokis.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in
How many
players
that Izzo kills careers, you know?
And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Shout out the hangover, but we are back because we gave JB and Michigan State their flowers because they did get a great win over the weekend, and Tom Izzo is now the winningest Big Ten coach ever.
Okay.
Go for it. Go for it. I'm not going to say one negative word about Tom Izzo today. Now, as
some people in the booth,
as the season goes on, we shall see. We shall see. But there's another team in the Big Ten that got a nice win, a nice road win, by the way, and that is the University of Michigan, continuing their turnaround, maybe the best turnaround in all of college basketball. It's either them or St. John's. Shout out to Rick Pitino as well. But what Dusty May has done at Michigan, they were an 8-win team. Now they are, last year with Juwan Howard, now they are a 12-2 team in the Big Ten, 20 wins overall, and they got a huge win yesterday over Ohio State, 86-83. Nice choke job, Bruce Thornton. Nice air ball there with a wide open 5-footer. But no more shit talk. I want to break down the game because to me, that game was won, KG, because of Area 51, a.k.a. Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf. They just have the size and skill set that other teams just cannot account for. If you got 2 7-footers that can play, like, let me give you an example. Yesterday, Ohio State has 1 7-footer, Aaron Bradshaw. He fouled out in 11 minutes. All he was there was to just give fouls and get off the court. So when he wasn't on there, there was nobody that could really hang with him. And I saw Michigan taking advantage of that. I saw Vlad Golden give you a 20-10 double-double for only his 3rd double-double of the season. Danny Wolf do what Danny Wolf does. In the first half, he was not as aggressive with his shot, but he had 4 assists. He was still running the offense. He was still a big reason why they were up by 5 at half. But in the second half, he was way more aggressive. You saw him hit on his jumper. You saw him with a couple of dribble drives, a post-up, a putback. He is a unicorn, and he played like it in the second half. Whatever it takes to win. So to me, this was a game about Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf, and Michigan's going to go as far as they take them.
No, that is a fact, man. And you brought up, the St. John's comeback and Rick Pitino. We know what that is. It's Rick Pitino, man.
Yeah.
But for Michigan, with Dusty May, to have the turnaround that they are having, it's been absolutely amazing this year, man. And this is why I wasn't sold on the type of player that Hunter Dickinson was. And I know you're going to get at me, Sam, but
most over-slandered player in Michigan history.
Listen, man, you keep pushing that. I understand, but I just think that the level of players that Dusty May has brought into this program, I think it's night and day over what we had in past seasons. And, not to say it was just the players, coaching also played a part. We all know that. But, for what Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf do for this team, I mean, you're talking about 2 7-footers with decent ball handling skills that can run the pick and roll, and they can absolutely kill you that way. And that's what you saw kind of yesterday. Literally, if it wasn't for Danny Wolf kind of getting into foul trouble early in that first half, Michigan had an answer for everything Ohio State did, especially offensively. And you're looking at this team, they're one of the better offenses in the country, putting up about 82 points a game. So when Michigan can dominate with their 7-footers and be able to drive and kick to the shooters on the outside, they are a very, very dangerous team, and they can compete with damn near anybody that they go against. But where you worry for them sometimes is the perimeter defense. I mean, Ohio State, they got a lot of 3-point shots up in that first half, and that kind of kept them in things. But for them to, just be able to, down the stretch, be able to wear down that team, you saw what Danny Wolf was able to do in that second half. And, man, shout out to Burnett, shout out to all the great shooters that they have. I think they can compete with anybody, and I really see maybe the floor for this team being the Sweet 16. I really do, man. I just, if they can continue to play this level of basketball, am I wrong, Sam?
No, you are absolutely not. And Herb Nash, Vlad greater than Dickinson, Wolf greater than Dickinson.
Thank you.
I will agree with you.
Thank you.
On
Thank
Wolf.
you.
Vlad Golden is not better than Hunter Dickinson.
Not even close.
In no world is Vlad Golden better than Hunter Dickinson. Hunter Dickinson is better than Vlad Golden. Danny Wolf is better than Hunter Dickinson by a mile, because Danny Wolf's going to be a lottery pick when it's all said and done. But I will not give you Vlad Golden.
Yeah.
Hunter Dickinson is the most over-slandered player in Michigan history.
Even what Gromit said in the chat, shout out Gromit 0237, the bench is deep as well. You have some really good shooters coming off that bench, man.
You know how I feel about Will Shedder. He's
right.
that guy coming off the bench that can
Hell
knock
of a
down
name.
a couple of threes, that can play some defense, that is just that grit guy who dives on the floor for loose balls.
Yeah.
He's really he's the one who really, and I don't put as much into this as most people, but even I can see that he's just an energy guy. You see him on the bench when he's not in, hyping everybody up. You see him on the floor giving more effort than anybody. He knows he's probably not an NBA player, but as far as any team in the country would love a Will Shedder as that missing piece to Final Four national championship team. And yeah, you mentioned Amari Burnett as well, having a hell of a season shooting threes. Trey Donaldson didn't have his best game, but he did have a 3-possession stretch where it's 3 consecutive dribble drive layups, although those were his only points in the game. But yeah, at the end of the day, Michigan got a big road win. I understand, as you said, that Ohio State, Devin Royal killed us.
Yeah.
Bruce Thornton had a heck of a game until that last air ball. But yeah, on the perimeter, it was Ohio State that won that battle. But in the down low, as far as Ohio State just not being able to contend with the size, Michigan exploited it, and you love to see it. You love to see Vlad Golden be aggressive. You love to see Danny Wolf be aggressive with his shot when he has to, because it's not just Ohio State. There aren't many teams across the country that can contend with that size. Off the top of my head, I can't really even think of one with that size, 2 7-footers who are your best players on your team.
And it's not just size, they're skilled as well. Danny Wolf can literally do anything on the floor. And when you look at Vlad Golden, the amount of pressure that he can provide, down low in the paint, his ability to rebound, second chance points was really big for Michigan in this game. And for the ability for Vlad to hold down the fort when Danny Wolf got in that foul trouble, I'm telling you, man, this Michigan team, they are very, very dangerous. And like I said, if they can get the shots going with Vlad Golden dominating in the paint and Danny Wolf pretty much getting to wherever spot on the floor he can get to, this is a dangerous team, bro. And I really feel like they can go places. One
of my favorite numbers from yesterday was the big fat 10 under rebounds for Vlad Golden. I mentioned at the beginning, Vlad Golden exploited those matchups. He got 10 rebounds. He got some really big rebounds down the stretch, which were integral for Michigan winning that game. He's somebody who is not as good of a rebounder and not as tenacious of a competitor in the paint as you would like him to be for his size, but at some point you have to punish those Ohio State guys for the simple crime of being smaller than you.
Yeah.
See a mouse in the house and exploit it.
Damn
and they
right.
did. And they did. And I know that I talk about this man like I'm in love with him, because I am. Danny Wolf.
Yeah.
I know I said it at the beginning.
He is the truth, though.
He was phenomenal.
Really is.
First half, getting everybody else involved. Second half, doing more scoring for himself. 17 points, 11 rebounds, his 11th double-double of the season, the only Big Ten player who averages a double-double, and just sprinkling in 5 assists. The next closest player on the team has 2. And the thing about Danny Wolf, too, and this is just an observation, I can't quantify this, although I wish that I could. He gets more hockey assists than damn near any Michigan player that I've ever seen. Just running the offense, making the right pass to the person who then makes the other right pass to the person who puts it up.
It's because you got to respect it, though. Like, he can kill you. Otherwise, he can kill you inside. He can hit the 3-ball. Like, you got to account for Danny Wolf at all times, and that's what makes it hard on opposing defenses.
Yep, and Jesse Adams, Auburn can match them. Good call. Auburn's the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah.
That's fair, and
That's fair,
hopefully Michigan will be seeing Auburn someday.
Yeah, but that's the difference, though. Michigan can compete with Auburn.
Yeah.
They might not beat them, but they can match up very well with Auburn, and that's kind of attributed to what Dusty May has been able to do with this program, bringing these type of players in. He completely changed the philosophy of how this Michigan offense is run, and you're seeing that night in and night out, man. They go out there and they continue to put up points. Like I said, 82 points a game in the college game. That's pretty damn good, man. So Dusty May has really turned this thing around.
Well, speaking of Dusty May, and I think this is where his imprint is just on the team. One thing that was the most maddening, one thing I got so maddened about when watching Michigan basketball teams under Juwan Howard, not so much last year because they were just gutter trash,
Right.
but the year before, the year where they wasted Kobe Buffkin, Jet Howard, and Hunter Dickinson, didn't even make the tournament. It wasn't if the choke job was coming when it got tight, it was when. The amount of one-score games that Michigan lost, especially in that 2023 season, just made me want to pull my hair out. Especially at the end of the year where they had a chance to right a lot of their wrongs and then lost 2 consecutive overtime games to end the season after saving their season with an overtime win against Wisconsin thanks to Hunter Dickinson.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear that, but it
I
happened.
don't, but he wasn't good enough, bro.
But anywho, the point is that Michigan, and you can do with this stat what you want. You can say that maybe they're a little bit playing above their head, but I actually look to it as late game execution. Of their 12 Big Ten wins, 9 of them have been by 4 points or less. Obviously, like I said, does that make them playing a little bit above their heads? You could argue that, but I would argue they just know how to execute in the clutch better than other teams.
Yes, so
and I understand that games against Northwestern and Penn State, they let an inferior team hang around, but at the end of the day, when it was time to avoid disaster, Michigan has the players down the stretch who tend to execute in the clutch. I'm looking at Trey Donaldson. Hell, I'm even looking at a guy like Roddy Gale, who went back to Ohio State, his team where he transferred from, and didn't play well, but he got a couple big buckets down the stretch. And in one of the games that I went to against Iowa, Roddy Gale got the game-winning layup. So somebody that I don't necessarily like for what he's brought for the totality of the season, but Michigan has guys who down the stretch know how to make the winning plays, and they know how to get those decisive stops when the time is for them to be made. So,
and say what you want, that experience breeds well for what the tournament is going to be. If you can win tight, close games like that in the tournament, man, you can be a dangerous team. So I just really look forward to what the ceiling of this version of Michigan is, and they're only going to get better from here, man.
The ceiling is national championship.
Even this year?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've said as
all right. Let me get loose up here. You got me getting loose up here.
I understand. And to me, it's because of Danny Wolf, because I do believe that he's that 7-foot point center unicorn that most teams in the tournament can't account for. I do think he's eventually going to be a lottery pick. You need guys like that. You either need guys like that or just a cohesive team with a lot of really good players. But even now, you need some guy like a Danny Wolf. Not the type of player, but the star type. Because
here come Chase with the hate. Go ahead.
No, I was about to ask. Like, you really didn't think you guys could win the national championship? Because I would have said right there with everything Sam has said. Like,
I do think they have the talent, but I just think, they're a young team still, and this is their first year really having this kind of success again, so I didn't want to put too much on them. That's just me as a fan.
I think, like, Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf are going to be the leaders who help carry all of the success in the tournament.
Absolutely.
That's why I think everything Sam said, like, I totally agree. And we talked about it like a week or two ago. I said I think this team is easily I'd pencil into the Final Four right now.
And I'm not mad at that. I'm not. Yeah. I'm just, me as a fan, I want to be a little bit cautious just because they need to get in the dance and prove it. But like I said, they are at the very least a Sweet 16 team to me, and they can push for more. I really do feel like they can push for more.
Well, let me say this, because you guys, Will and KG in particular, maybe think I was going a little slap, which I'm not mad at it.
No, I'm not mad at you, man.
And that's okay, because Jesse Adams brings up something as well. Let me pour just a little bit of cold water on this. I don't want to, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't. Jesse Adams, who I believe is a State fan, turnovers are a problem for Michigan and MSU, in my opinion. It's not your opinion, it's fact.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the reasons why Michigan, they've tended at times to get out to big leads and let teams claw their way back in, i.e. Oregon. I was at that game. I remember it got a little bit too close for comfort. And yeah, turnovers can be a problem. I remember in that game, Roddy, it was either that game or Purdue, I forgot which one, you guys will remind me, had 3 consecutive traveling violations on 3 consecutive possessions. You think that shouldn't exist, but it did. And so I think Michigan, I'll get to you in a second, KG.
Yeah, no problem.
I think Michigan is a team that's ceiling is Final Four, but they're also susceptible to getting upset by like a 13 seed if they're a 4. And I know every team technically is, but I think Michigan, if they just are that turnover machine team, are uniquely susceptible. They're a very high floor, and in terms of tournament play, low ceiling to me.
And from the games I've seen, once again, I feel like the perimeter defense needs to be a little bit better because sometimes the rotations, and we talk about how Vlad Golden is pretty good defensively, but sometimes they can be late on rotations, which causes problems on the perimeter and get shooters open. So they can put up points, but they need to be able to stop teams from putting up points, especially when you get into the tournament, because it's going to be hard trying to slow down some of these offensive shooters. No, I'm saying that's great, and in the paint they're pretty good, but sometimes those perimeter rotations can lack because of the size, and they're just not quick enough to make some of those moves. But if they play good defensively, then I have no problems with saying they can be a Final Four team.
Yeah, and I mean I said as much. The national championship, I think that is 100% their ceiling, and that would officially make this the greatest program turnaround, and I think in college basketball history, without knowing all of the other great ones going from 8 wins to a national championship. I don't think you would see me the next day, because I might actually just combust.
No, that'd be crazy to go from what they were to national championship the very next. That would be nuts, bro. It really would.
Nobody in the chat, Sam and KG, you guys make a good combo on the desk.
I know, especially when Flannel ain't saying fire AJ Hinch, don't we? I feel like we make a pretty good combo.
Always bringing that up.
Yeah, I got to, man.
I'm still mad at Michael Parrish, though. I had him in a parlay yesterday.
Damn.
That's the only thing that didn't hit. He had 9 points. I needed 10.
Wait a minute. What was your parlay?
Oh, it was Michigan, Ohio State. I did a parlay. Everything hit except for him getting 10 points. He ended at 9. The trash ass motherfucker.
He trashed because he hit your parlay.
Who was it that didn't get 10?
Micah Parrish, the guard from
Ohio
dude. State. Yeah.
What'd he shoot, like 2 of 13?
Yeah, something crazy.
He had a big one at the end, though, to cut it to 1, where I got real nervous.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Michigan, they didn't give up a lead that whole second half, though. So that just goes to show you that they are a team that late in games, they are prepared for the moment. So you love to see it, man. You do.
You absolutely love to see it. And before we get to what's trending, I want to get Will's thoughts on Michigan and Michigan State. How are you feeling about both of those teams? Can they make tournament runs?
Even though I'm a Tom Izzo hater, and I stand on it.
Hater.
But,
we are too, but you got to give him his flowers.
But I give credit because you can't underestimate him when it comes to the tournament, because he did a couple years ago with a 20 over 2010, 13,
Yeah.
and make it to the Elite 8 or make it to the Final 4, you can't underestimate teams because he know how to adjust lineups. And for Michigan, to having that talent, I think to go farther to the Sweet 16 to Elite 8, but you got to like turnovers and defensive adjustments. They need to press a little bit more and to go farther because two guys can't do it. Can't lead a team to the to Elite 8. You got to take a team process. That's what the difference between Michigan and Michigan State. Michigan State not uses as a team and not just a role player. So
I don't hate
I give credit's due.
No, I don't hate that, but I also think Trey Donaldson, if there was a big three, he would be a part of it. I like what Namari Burnett's brought. I like what Will Shedder has brought. And even one more guy I got to give flowers to. If you blinked in that game, if you turn it off for just a couple of minutes, you might have missed him. LJ Kaysen, man. Freshman who
solid.
A lot of us Michigan fans were pretty excited about, had gotten himself out of the rotation. I think he played 2 or 3 minutes yesterday and had 5 points, a layup, and a 3. That's big time, man.
Yeah.
When you're a freshman, when you're trying to help your team get a Big Ten title, those are the type of minutes that are going to get you a lot more minutes down the road and are going to get you in Dusty May's good graces, and then maybe they'll need him in the tournament or in the Big Ten tournament. Probably not because the rotation shrink, but...
Does Friday's winner determine who wins the Big Ten?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Purdue just lost to Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah, they did. They did. Good point. Good point.
Absolutely, because... I've got a lot of confidence in my in my team, the Michigan Wolverines. Do I expect them on the final game of the season to go into Breslin and win? Probably not.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
It'll
be tough.
I think it's going to be home and home. I do think Michigan does win this game, but if they don't, I'll be big mad. I'm going to be mad, bro.
No, that's a fact.
Holiday.
You're right.
No.
It won't be that bad. It won't be that bad.
When have I ever holidayed after a loss?
You
Come
have
on.
Never. You have
Come
never.
on.
I will give
Come
you
on.
credit for that. You have never came in here after any Michigan loss and been like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be here.
Flannel stand on business, for better or for worse.
Nor have you after state. I appreciate you. We've been here for a long time, and I've never seen you in like a holiday. But coming up next, we got everybody's favorite segment, What's Trending with JB Smooth. But first, I have to tell you about Feldman, because Feldman Chevrolet is the #1 Chevy dealer. They've won for 5 consecutive years, and they're going to get a 6-peat. We all know that they are, because I myself have trusted Feldman. Matt Broder, Neil Rule, Kool-Aid might get himself into the Feldman family someday, and we do shows there often. If we were to do a bar graph of where we've done the most remote shows, Feldman would be up here. Everybody else would be down there. So we know Feldman is that company that we love having them as a part of the Woodward family. So go support them if you need a new car, especially if your car breaks down on the way to a Michigan-Ohio State game. I wonder who that would happen to. It was me. Who needed to see a Juwan Howard team anyway? Anywho, that's Feldman Chevrolet.
Juwan, man.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Hey, welcome back to Wake Up Woodward live on the Woodward Sports Network. I am Flannel Sam. We got KG to my left. Kool-Aid will be back tomorrow from San Francisco.
Hopefully.
Hey, I think he'll be here.
My man can't answer his phone, man. I'm just saying, I thought Kool-Aid was different, man. I thought he was different.
He was Ja Rule out there living it up.
Yeah, man. Just forgot about the squad.
He did answer me yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, I bet he did. Oh, okay. All right.
I just wanted to ask him when he was wanted to come on today, and he was very timely with that response. We got William
shout
Baker,
out to the bro.
We got Chase, and we got JB. And speaking of JB, what's trending?
Now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
One man that doesn't get horny at Lady Jane's, JB Smooth.
Oh, stop it.
Really?
You know he does.
What?
Really?
No, I can see JB definitely.
How?
How did I get into this? Wait a minute.
Oh, man. Good times, man.
Oh,
if only
man.
y'all were privy to our breaks.
Yeah, if only you guys knew. But shout out to everyone in the chat family hanging with us.
JB's speaking at the dryer all the time.
You're right.
Wait, what you say?
Right,
What'd you say,
JB think
Chase?
he's slick. You not slick, bro.
What I
We
do?
be
I
catching
didn't
you.
even do nothing. I didn't even do. I don't know what they talking about, chat family. I don't know what they talking about. But you know what? Some days, just aren't your days. You just got to take your lumps, and you know what? You might just want to go home after some days.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
You just need to go
Bow.
home.
Oh, and then run through the door.
Yeah,
see,
the
you
double
just need to go
ricochet.
home.
Yeah, that's tough.
The way she falls looks like she got dropped by a sniper, bro.
I mean, y'all, for real, Call of Duty style.
saw
Like,
that.
Black Ops 6, like, just ragged off his head.
I saw it similar in a basketball camp back in 2001 too. I went to Eastern Michigan basketball camp.
Yeah.
And this one kid, he hustled for a loose ball. It was metal guardrails and out of bounds.
Oh, no.
This kid died, swiped the basketball that hit knee first, and I see him turning 360 on the bleachers.
Oh, my
Good
God.
Lord.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. She had a tough day. Hopefully, she got some ice cream afterwards.
Hopefully.
You had a bad day, man.
Hopefully she did. When's the last time you guys been to the pool hall by chance? Or do you guys like pool?
My dad's in a pool
I used to
league.
own a pool. My dad used to own a pool hall.
Oh, hey, see, there you go.
Q
Shout
stick
out
on James
there.
cousin.
Shout out. I love the
Last
pool
Freeway.
hall, too, man. I'm an underrated pool player as well. Fun
Yeah.
fact about
Yeah,
KG.
I can play pool.
My
Or
dad used to be a
billiards.
shark. He used to hustle people, so.
Then KG, you would probably know this shot then. This is two balls, corner pocket.
The trick shot.
Oh, shit. Hey, my man, you gotta hold the stick. You gotta hold the stick on the follow through.
So you know the shot, right, KG?
No, I don't. Low key, I'd be pissed off. I'm not gonna lie. Because it's like, bro, if you don't know how to play, that's fine. But you gotta hold the stick on the follow through, bro. Like, you can't be shooting the stick, bro. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy work.
Hold the stick on the follow through. Eh?
Hey, he I see what you did there. Oh man, big pause. But he hit the corner pocket though, just the wrong pocket. But he hit a pocket alright. That's kind of tough.
God damn.
Oh shit.
That's why I'm here, Sam. That's why I'm here.
Two ball, corner pocket. See, Vic, KD, you didn't know that play, so I guess I don't
That's tough.
know. That's tough out here. What else is tough is I don't know what's going on with but I am not like this when I'm on my VR headset. I don't take it this seriously. But
we know what you're doing on that
does.
headset.
Yeah.
We know what you're doing on that headset.
Zooming in.
Uh-oh.
Okay. This reminds me of one of my family members, man. Shout out TJ if you watch it, man. This reminds me of you.
Why?
Have you guys seen the video of the one dude who got caught in VR?
No.
Oh yeah.
Okay, play it out here. Unk did some time. He not playing.
Oh, he got an uppercut game going and the body shots.
No, Unk definitely did a bid in prison, man. Like he ain't fucking around.
52 blocks.
Yeah, right. Right. Look how he throwing the punches.
Just why?
Oh, good knee.
He is into it, bro. Oh, the sweep, not the leg sweep. Oh shit, not the leg sweep. Dog, the leg sweep.
Damn.
That's hilarious.
That's a Mortal Kombat shit.
How realistic is VR? Has anybody in here done it?
I've played cartoon games in VR like a couple years ago.
Is it something that you could see somebody getting that into it?
Yeah, like when I did it, I like forgot I was like in the living room of the house. I was
okay.
Not like they just immersed you in this like it was this cartoon game, so like I was just like looking at like I felt like I was like in the animated world essentially. It was a fun game, and like you create like a boundary. So once you get to like the walls of like your like zone, it kind of like clears the view, so you can see the separation of like the augmented reality versus the real reality.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
you have to like kind of lay out like your like zone of play, and then when you get near the boundary, it kind of like warns you like, hey, you're near your wall. Of, like, play.
I know a homeless person before VR was fighting somebody, but he was fighting the air.
Hey, JB normally have people, stepping in front of these people when they playing the VR games. Ain't nobody stepping in front of Unk. You noticed that, right?
Yeah.
Unk got some haymakers on him. I don't know if you want to fuck with Unk.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to mess with Unk on that one. So
He in the flops out there going crazy.
Yeah. Unreal. And finally, I will end what's trending with this because Flannel, you made it known that you were a little bit late today, but I think I know the reason why. This is actual footage of Sam leaving his house, getting to work.
Hey, my dog. You gotta brush your car off, Big G.
No. You never know when you're late. You just got to make it there.
Nah,
Regardless.
bro. Yeah, okay. You gonna make it into another car is what you gonna do. You gotta brush your windshield off.
Is he doing like the Jim Carrey, looking out the
Right. He's right looking out the window.
And listen, I get lazy and don't want to brush off my car too, but that's what windshield wipers are for. Turn the defrost on, put the windshield wipers on, and you'll be fine.
That's
like this
thick.
is crazy work.
That's thick and heavy. No way you're getting your windshield wipers to move all
Even
that stuff.
still, you got to do something. You can't just drive down the street like this. This is tough, bro. You gonna hurt somebody.
That was tough morning for me. But,
Yeah,
but to be fair, I was in the worst traffic jam I've ever been in commuting to work.
Nah, let me tell y'all, Flannel is always here
He's
at
the first one
7:30
here,
sharp
yo.
every single
he's here
morning,
before
bro.
7:30.
No,
He's here
Flannel
at 6:30.
No, Flannel gets here way early and does show prep, so like y'all got to give Flannel some slack. He's not normally late, man, but
That's why I was so mad.
He risked his life to come in here and give y'all entertainment, bro. So yeah, clap it up for Flannel Sam.
With all that snow in the car.
Thank you, Will. I appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Will.
I appreciate that. Is that it for what's trending?
Yes, that is it for what's trending. So let's hop into some mailbag while we got some time left.
Absolutely. Put your mailbag questions in the chat. We will try to get to as many of them as we can. And if you want to for sure, make sure that we read them. Drop a super chat. Because, we're also trying to get to Las Vegas.
Summer League.
Summer League.
More on that in the coming weeks.
I've never been to Vegas.
Never?
Not once. No.
Holy
Me either,
shit.
Sam.
There we
Flannel
go.
in
So
Vegas.
maybe there could be a first time
Me
for
too.
everything.
Sam ain't ready for Vegas, dog.
Yeah.
He not. It's different down there, dog. That's all I say.
I don't know how
the desert are a little different. Them people a little different down there.
I don't know how I haven't been to Vegas. Like I got married in Arizona, so
Oh,
like
really?
we could have
Yes.
probably made
you
that stop.
just
but-
make the
I'm skipping
drive.
the jump.
Yeah.
My
Have
first
you
time
been to the
in-
Grand Canyon?
Yes, I have. I've been to the Grand Canyon.
My
yeah.
first time in Vegas, it was like 3 or 4 years back. Me and the wife, we went to
Okay.
Arizona first and then just drove down to Vegas.
Did you
So-
go to the Grand Canyon?
No.
Lame.
Yeah. What? It's just a big ass hole.
No,
Like-
no. Don't disrespect the Grand Canyon like that. The Grand Canyon's spectacular.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Shout out the
on
Colorado
getting to Vegas,
River and
though.
carve that
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
It's on the bucket list, but it's not
Yeah.
something I'm like,
That's fair.
beating the door down for.
Yeah.
There's some crazy.
It's a big. I done seen big gaping holes my whole life. Pause.
Hey, yo.
Double pause right there.
Whoa.
Women's gate. No, I'm talking shit.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, yo. Hey, John effing Lord, fellow mailbag. When are we getting flannel versus Spenny in a pizza eating contest?
When you
Hey.
put the lettuce on the pizza.
We'll have to make that happen because I'm an underrated just big eater.
If you guys throw Jets in the mix, I want in that
Okay.
competition. Because Sam's seen me. I used to be fat. So
Yeah.
Hold on, you an underrated eater? So
Yeah.
you would do like eating contests?
I could beat Spetty. No question about it. And I know it's just all hollow shit talk right now, but I think I could beat Spetty.
Don't make me take this back to Spin. Spin would do it.
He knows. We've talked about it back when I would be on Big D Energy sometimes. It just hasn't ever happened yet. But hey,
Michigan versus Michigan State pizza eating contest, bro. We got to do it. We got to sign it up for Friday.
Oh man, for Friday. Do the show then.
Right.
That would be.
What was it? Woodward Rivals, man. Part 2, the pizza edition.
Woodward Rivals.
Shout
That is
out.
a blast from the past. BigCon 51 mailbag. Did hockey steal Valentine's weekend from the NBA like NFL did on Christmas? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's pretty bad, bro. I don't know what they can do at this point. To me, they've kind of experimented too much with it. But they need to take it back to what it used to be, because it used to be more about the game. Now it's just like it's a whole bunch of filler in there. Like they had the Mr. Beast challenge in the middle of the All-Star game,
Which
like
was unnecessary.
It was very unnecessary, and my man almost didn't make the shot. It was crazy, but yeah, I don't know what the hell they can do with it at this point.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast though is like the GOAT of YouTube, so I get it.
Shout out to him, man.
Rando Smalls, Feldman Mailbag. Who do you think will be the Tigers' closer? I figure they will committee it.
That's a good question, actually.
What if Tyler Holton?
Really?
I mean, he's been one of the best relief pitchers in the game for the last couple of years. Don't you eventually have to take that leap to closer?
Well, yeah. Or you can leave him there and maybe see if Jason Foley still got something in the tank.
Jason Foley wasn't bad last year. I think we're all going to remember he got phased out in the playoffs.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't do anything in the playoffs. He wasn't even available. I mean, I think he pitched one inning and gave up a couple of runs. So, yeah. But he had his moments. Me and Broder always cling to that beginning of the season where he was so dominant. He was touching 100, and then he just lost it.
Yeah.
Oh, well. But he's solid. He's solid. Jesse Adams, Flannel, are you going to make a bet with Spenny for Friday's game down in AA? I'd be down. I mean, I'm pretty confident. I like Michigan's team. I like that we have Danny Wolf and they don't. I think they have a little bit more depth in terms of more talented players, but Danny Wolf is going to be the difference, and obviously we need others to step up. We need a big game from Vlad Golden as well.
And
hell, we can
need
make
to
a
hit some
friendly bet
threes.
too.
You said what?
I said, hell, we can make a friendly bet too.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Show versus show bet? Is that what y'all trying to cook up right now?
Hey,
I might approach Spenny with this
let's
in a little bit.
think about this tomorrow, because I don't want to make a bet on the fly.
Oh,
but
yeah,
maybe
Let's not
meet
do it
me.
on
All
the
I know
fly.
is I'm not sacrificing no hair, so y'all can get out of here with that shit. I'm
Yeah.
good.
It's a piece of dread. That's
No, I'm straight.
Shout out to Nick Koloff though, a braver man, a braver man than I.
Tailgate wins, man. He always wins.
I still can't believe he did that.
Yeah.
But I was so proud of him too.
When I filled in for the heavies last week, I wanted to grab him by the head. Michael Jordan, I wanted to do that to him so bad. But shout out to my mans, man. And shout out Beth, who is also in the studio right now. Beth, the one that did the good work on Nick. So.
He's cutting my hair this week.
Oh shit! You gonna give him the? You
gonna shave it off?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
man.
I said I want that Kool-Aid special.
Right. I got a ball head.
Oh man. Shout out to Nick's girl too, because I was genuinely worried if he had to go home with that monstrosity.
Man, if I come home bald, my wife is leaving me that day. That is a known fact. Yeah, right?
What do we got? Mailbag, BigCon 51. Can Torque get out of his slump? I think it's more of a career at this point.
Yeah.
Besides for that one, you know what? I've given Torque a lot of crap. He was better when he came up from the minors at the end of last year. He was objectively. And
where were you in the playoffs, though?
Nowhere to be found.
And that's my only thing with him. And then it doesn't help when you hear reports of he doesn't like to look at his swing or go back and review footage. I'm just a civilian, so don't. Yeah. I don't know shit for anything. But the fact that you don't do that, and then we see the performances that we see, it just ain't spelling. It just ain't computing to me.
Yeah. If Juan Soto does that, we're like, cool, keep doing your thing.
Right,
Spencer Torkelson says that, we're like, bro, you're about to play your way out of the league.
Yeah.
Jesse Adams at Neil Rule wants to win that game Friday. Do you think? Second question: do you think Ryan and Maz even know? Come on.
What?
Come on. I get it. It's very easy, and I know it's a very a bit that's been done in this city that Michigan doesn't have real basketball fans. But we we are on this show. We love us some Michigan basketball.
No, we do. We finally have a product that we can fucking talk about.
Yeah.
So, which is good. And to the Neil point, gotta shoot Neil some bail. He has shown love to Michigan basketball.
Oh,
like he early called Dusty May. He said he was the truth like early on in this process. So you got to give him credit for that. He just hates Michigan football and the fan base. So
yeah, and he's not a State fan, but it's subjective. And KG, you get the brunt of it now. I got the brunt of it back in the day. It's subjective that he gives Spenny wet kisses compared to us.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Like tongue baths, like literal tongue baths.
But that's okay. I'll let Neil get his shit off. I'm always gonna check him when it comes to Michigan. So don't worry.
Yeah,
all my
I know.
Wolverines out there, I got us. Okay, I can deal with that, man. I can deal with him.
And Jesse, who do you think Neil Rule wants to win that game? I think he's friends with Saudi Washington, so I think that probably is the it's now on the State staff. So
maybe.
I think in that game he's pretty objective.
He'll be neutral. Yeah. He
in that game.
He's rooting for Oakland. That's what he's rooting for.
But yes, Ryan and Maz know that there's a game. You got to give us Michigan fans a little bit of slack because of what happened last year. But I've been locked in. Been locked in from the beginning. But even I last year, who's a super fan, whose maybe favorite Michigan athlete of all time is Mo Wagner.
Yeah.
I was like hate watching.
Yeah.
I remember they gave up a big lead to Rutgers in the second half, and I was just there like cackling, like this bum team.
It was pretty bad, man. But also got to account for football season too. I mean, and I feel bad because I couldn't watch Michigan early on. I would have loved to see some of the earlier games, but football season just consumed me.
Yeah.
Like it literally took everything out of me.
Oh yeah, it always does because Michigan is always a football school. They've accomplished more in football than basketball. Although when you really look at since 1989, they've done a lot.
Yeah.
Only one natty, but they've had some good teams. Fab Five, Trey Burke, Mo Wagner teams. They also had Brian Ellerby and Tommy Amaker.
I'm still mad about the Louisville loss in the national championship, but it is what it is, man.
Spike
that
Albrecht.
so-called goaltending.
Yeah, that shit. You can't tell me to this day that wasn't goaltending, bro.
They called that
Trey Burke
bullshit.
put that shit in. Man, don't even get me started, bro.
Go ahead, man.
That run was crazy that they didn't take that home.
Oh yeah, that's well. It is 10:03, so on that highly depressing note, this was Wake Up Woodward.
Right.
We know it's not depressing. Michigan basketball right now, and that dub we're going to get on Friday. But
you damn right.
If you think so.
For Flannel Sam, for KG, for William Baker, for Chase.
Right here.
And for JB. And for...
Kool-Aid called it.
Kool-Aid called it.
DMAC called it.
Hey, that's a throwback. They don't know about that
Bro,
one. That's an E&D special right there. Shout out Maria. Shout out Maria, man.
Shout out Maria.
I know we just kind of like busted the guy's chop. Shout out Pete because his love letter to Steve Yzerman on the heavyweights when they were doing their Valentine. Go back and watch it.
Top notch?
Top notch.
Hey,
absolutely.
let Pete cook, bro. Let him cook.
LPC. But that was Wake Up Woodward.
LPC.
We will see you tomorrow. Kool-Aid will be back. Well, see you later.